Hiya, it's LindaLee, and I am going to work on the little floating pocket insert that I'm going to make for the Carpetbagger Journal I'm working on. I was kind of putting together a little leather-like looking cover for it. However, it's just a single little piece of paper bag, and it really only covers one side, and I decided that I wanted to cover both inside and outside, so we're going to set this aside and maybe use it for something else, but I'm going to do a larger piece of paper bag, and I thought I'd at least turn on the camera so you can watch and see and just kind of be part of it. So this is a bigger bag. It's not full sized. Maybe I should pull the camera out a little bit. I don't know. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually just going to cut the bottom off and open it up. So now this bottom piece can still be used, so I won't throw that away. But I'm not gonna kind of fuss with that while I have the camera rolling. And then where this natural little seam here is, where the paper is glued together, we're just gonna pull that apart. And that'll give us a nice big piece, if I can get it to come apart, of paper. All right, so now I got a really big piece, but just so it's not so totally overwhelming, I'm gonna kind of break it down a little bit so it's more just the size that I need. So I already put some pieces together for the inside. I'm not sure if we're gonna sew that signature together like here, or if it'll be in another video when I'm doing the other signatures. But let's kind of work out how big a piece of paper I'm going to play with right now. All right, so I'm going to tear it along this seam right here. Save this for another time. And then I probably should make a little smaller because it's going to be way bigger than I need. Just so, especially because I'm on camera. Make it a little more manageable size-wise. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. So, it's still bigger than I really need it to be, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. So what we're doing is we're just going to crinkle this up and use various inks to highlight the wrinkles so that it looks like an old weathered piece of leather. I'm actually going to move this here. So how are ya? It's like Saturday afternoon, at least at time of recording. I probably won't really upload this until maybe, I don't know, Sunday maybe. Move my water cup. So I've got 3 different colors. Let me just fold it a little bit and do the outside. 3 different colors, and just so it's a little multi-dimensional, I'm probably going to do the medium color first because I've got a darker color, a medium color, and then this one is a little more orangey. It's called Rusty Hinge, just to kind of offset this color, but this is going to be our primary background. I should have got a bigger one of these. I actually was at Hobby Lobby today. Would you believe my guy wanted to go to Hobby Lobby? He was looking for a big monster box of Crayola crayons. So, but just by wrinkling this up and using the distress ink, not only is it going to soften the paper a little bit, so it'll be a little more easy to use to wrap the folio that I want, but it'll help it look more like a distressed piece of leather. So there is going to be a lot of inking in this. I'm going to try to do it quickly, but there's a lot and my ink pad is little. So, yesterday I did a live in my group, a Friday Night Live, and I was playing with some metallic lusters, and the gold one was kind of dry, so I didn't know really if it was supposed to be that way or not, but from the feedback I got from some of the girls, it shouldn't be that dry. So I poured some water in it, and I'm going to show you, here, let me do it right now. So it looks like it absorbed the majority of the water, and it's soft again. Of course, I'm not going to use it on this bag, but now I gotta wipe it off my finger. That's very nice, because what I want to do is do some gilding on some of the pages inside the journal, and I gilded a few slides so that I can do like little specimens of different things. I'm gonna just kind of probably use like 3 of the specimen slides, and like, I don't know, I have a little rivet, or what's it called? It's not rivet, grommet gun thing ordered. It hasn't come. I ordered it at the same time as I ordered my heat tool, and for whatever reason I'm not getting these things. They were ordered before the whole COVID thing, but I was charged the money, so hopefully they'll be processed fairly soon. I haven't yet looked up the orders, but I haven't seen any refunds, so as you can kind of see, it's already kind of taking shape. And then we're going to just cover that little envelope, kind of like we did our school books when we were kids. Just make a book cover over it with this paper. So I got all kinds of little projects that are going to go into this Carpetbagger journal. This is one of them. Just seeing how much ink is coming off on me. So I've never actually done this technique before. I've kind of seen it done, and I've wanted to do it. So that's part of the reason why I turned on the camera, because I don't mind sharing my fails, but hopefully it's going to be more successes. This is way more than I probably need. Let's see. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to do it this way. So I need to come out to about here at least. So I'll probably, that kind of works. See how accidents happen? I knocked it over. Let's see, which part do you like better? The one where I rubbed it, or the part where I used the distressed brush? If this were only alive. I kind of like it both ways, so maybe I'll do the other colors the other way, and this will fill in the background a little bit. Sorry if I'm off screen. I'll try more and more to be on screen. Okay, let's bring in one of the other colors. I like it. Okay, so now the darker color. Let's try the smear technique. So, wow, that's a lot faster, huh? This one, the first one was Vintage Photo. This one is Walnut. And then the last one, I'm going to crinkle this up again and give it a little bit more to grab onto and do the Rusty Nail. So I've got my medium brown as the background on most of the bag. I already did the darkest brown. Now we're going to do the more orangey brown. I might do a little more of the medium brown too. So this, I'm only going to go, I'm not going to do the whole thing. This is giving it really pretty dimension. I don't know how much of it is coming across on camera. Let me do the medium brown again. Okay. Well, it offered a lot more contrast, but I do know that when this dries, it does lighten. So maybe we should find something else to work on while this is drying a little bit. That, or because I'm just recording, I could stop it and then put it together with another video on the other end of the process, huh? What do you think? I like it though. Also, if anybody has any tips to moisten these little pads after they dry out a little bit, because I'm sure there's plenty of ink in it, it's just drier. Does glycerin water work, you think? Or regular water? I don't want to. Leave me a comment. Give me a clue. Can you see it? Can you see it? I think on the camera all you're really seeing is the really dark parts, huh? I'm waiting for the feed to follow so you can I can see what you're seeing. So, all right, we're gonna let this dry a bit. And then we'll come back. I'll just put the two videos together. How's that? Cool. We'll see you in a little bit. Okay, we're back. And this paper is nice and dry, so it doesn't have that tacky feel anymore. And it's kind of flattened out a little bit. And I also did some seam binding. This was the color of the seam binding when I started. And what I did is I rumpled it all up. I blotted it in the walnut stain. And then I let it dry. And then I ran the walnut stain over it again. So I don't know. Here, let's do this under something white, so you can kind of see. So it's got a little bit of distressing and coloring in it as well. So from what I'm noticing, even the paper doesn't look as brown as it does in person. Isn't that cool though? I don't know if you can see it. But I think that's what I'm going to use to tie in the signature, because it's just a little folio. And then instead of putting the tails on the inside, I'm going to tie it so the tails are on the outside, so then it can wrap it and tie it shut all together, so that the signatures will be sewn in with the same piece that will be the tie closure for the little floating pocket. So that's my intentions. But this dyed really good. It looks a lot darker. I didn't have enough of the darker seam binding that I had gotten from Kelly, so I just used the lighter one and dyed it with my distressed inks. So let's go ahead, and now what we need to do, I kind of worked out a little bit. What I did is I made a nice straight edge on the bottom, and I already sliced this open. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to glue it so that it stays it just glues to the top and the bottom, and that stays open. No, actually maybe I'll slice it so that I can tuck the flaps inside. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm sorry if I'm going to kind of work out the engineering and mechanics with you guys watching. But hey, we're learning together, right? And then yeah, so I can actually just kind of cut this like I would an envelope. And there it looks like there's a natural seam right here from where the bag was folded. Let's see, but it doesn't look like it's gonna quite cover the whole other side, so I'll overlap them a little bit. Sorry if it sounds like I'm mumbling. I'm kind of thinking out loud. Now what I did notice too is I don't think it's gonna completely cover the top part, so I'll probably just make the flap maybe a little bit shorter than what the envelope really is, but just enough for it to kind of flap shut. So let's go ahead and take off this excess. Alright, so that's not tearing the way I really wanted it to, but I guess I can cut it. Here we go. And then here, and here, so that way these bits will tuck inside once it's glued. So that way the pocket will even appear to be lined. So up here on the inside, okay. Okay, I think I'm just going to glue it and then work with the flaps afterwards, and if I decide to cut or trim or tuck. So here we go. I got got this image in my head what I want it. Woohoo! Wow, what I want it to look like, but we'll see. Okay. I like it, I like it. Now, looks like I didn't do it quite straight, but that's okay too. Let's go ahead and glue it, and then we'll just work with it. I guess I didn't have to go all the way across just yet. What? Just sliced my glue stick. Do I have something here? That was interesting. This one's really goopy. Sorry, it seems like I'm kind of quiet again, but when I get into the thinking part, because I'm thinking while I'm doing, thinking of easier ways I probably could have done this, but I still like it. Okay, so I'm folding it while the glue is still, before it really sets, so that it can fold and kind of maneuver itself around to fit the envelope. So I still kind of need to do this little flat part. Yeah, look how crooked I did that. See where that line is? I have a smaller glue stick so I can get a, oops, sorry guys, get a little closer to that edge. It's a little dried out. So what I'm doing is I'm tucking this in to the actual bottom opening that I sliced in the envelope. Sticky spot. I want to make sure that it doesn't ooze over the edge. And we're going to do the same to the other flap. And then we kind of have to engineer the other end. That's going to be the flap. And then I'm tucking this one in as well. Just want to get a book page. So this is the effect from my doing the dye on the ribbon. I set it on the book to dry. Isn't that cool? Okay, so that side is done. This side to contend with. Now this here is where I want it to open. So I'm just kind of cutting by feel, because I didn't really plan that part out very well, but we're gonna make it work. Sorry if I'm moving the camera. I just bumped it with my head, trying to stay in frame. Okay, so let's go ahead and trim this. And now this piece, so what I'm gonna do this about the same size and tuck it in. I'll just give this a little more distressing before I do that. Okay, so let me cap my glues for a second. Are you following me? Maybe I should put music to this one too, like I did one of my others. When I don't talk much. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so that's a nice dark edge. I'm just going to put some ink on the inside here to tack it down. I'm going to put some glue on this part. And remove this tape. Give that a chance to dry a little bit. And I think we will sew in the signature right here and now instead of waiting when I do the other signatures. So let me find, I'm not sure if this will thread. Let me get a nice even edge. If not, I'll just put some tape on it. That worked out pretty good. Okay, now I have to remember that I'm going to kind of sew this in backwards. So, let's see, where is the middle of this? So these are the little papers that I put together for a signature. And it looks like I kind of have this as the top because that's where the margins are on these lined papers. I want the shorter end here because I'm going to glue in like a Rolodex card just to add a little bit of interest. Now, do I want something more in the middle? Maybe just turn it this way. I've never done it backwards. It's so easy going out. Maybe I'll just make the hole first. Let's see. This is just a straight pin. I'm not sure what the formal name to these are, but I'm gonna just poke it out through about the middle. Make sure there's a little bit of wiggle room. Bring this up through that hole. It's kind of thick because it's ribbon and not a string, so I guess maybe I should have made the hole bigger. Get it to tear a little bit. Not that you want it to tear, but there we go. So this is going to go here, then here, then back up through. So this, let me just pull it a little more back out. All right. So what I was doing is just kind of measuring to see, so I don't have to manipulate it too much through those holes once I get the signature all the way in. Maybe I'll bring it out to there. I'm just working the hole, trying to make it a little bit bigger because of the ribbon. And now my next hole, I'm using the paper, the middle paper to center it. So it's not really going to be completely centered, but I don't really care. So now I'm going to bring this in and then out through the metal so that the tie, like I said earlier, I don't want to use this flat one either. I need a better plier type tool. Where are they? Duh. Yikes, and my round crimp tool. Oh well, I guess I'm using this. There we go. Is this making sense to you guys, or does this look confusing? Especially because it's kind of all a similar color, so there's not a lot of variation in sight. Here, let's pull this over on this side. So now I'm going to pull this one back through the middle, which might be a little bit of a challenge. Ooh, I think I hit my camera again. Sorry, guys. We don't want to go through the ribbon. We want to go to the other side of it. Okay, let's get this off. And so it doesn't have to be like extremely tight because it's small and it doesn't have to support a lot of weight. Now I just want to tighten it up a little bit. We're going to tie it in a double knot. Very tight. Okay. Now this should be a bit more dry so I can trim it. I don't even think I mind that because I'm going to distress that edge anyways. So let's go ahead and trim because I thought I would shorten that whole piece. Okay, so there's the inside flap. Here's how it will fold on and cover here. And now I'm going to distress this whole edge and see if it'll darken up enough there. If not, well then maybe I'll do a little bit of patchwork. I don't know. But I don't think so. I think I just need to darken up the edge. So that you can't see the manila, kind of like when we do our tags and we cover up the white. And then now this wraps around. Ta-da! So I can shorten these because it doesn't necessarily need to be so long now. Or we can just go all the way around. Oh, this way. And then tie it like this. And she can trim it if she wants to. I think I like it this way better. Gives it just a little bit more character. What do you think? You like it? Ta-da! I like it. It almost feels, it feels a lot sturdier now too. Almost, no, yeah, maybe not like a light leather. All right, so that project is done. Yay! If you like my project, give me a thumbs up, like it, share it, subscribe, the whole works. It might have seemed like I was struggling, but I really ultimately had a plan. So I like it though. Thanks again for hanging out. Bye-bye.